Bhagavad Gita, the version I'm using is the version by Krishna Prem. There are thousands of volumes of Gita references, interpretations. The Gita has been considered by most spiritual teachers as one of the great texts of all times. The name Bhagavad Gita, as most of you probably know, is the Song of God. And it's a teaching that was delivered by Krishna in the historical accounting on a battlefield to Arjuna. And the setting, whereas it's important as far as the reference in the text go, is really just a place in time that was when the book was written, or when the original version was sung or told. The written version probably was approximately around 500 BC. It's been considered by many to have been inserted into the Mahabharata as part of the tale, but in fact it really doesn't matter, because the teaching stands on its own. I think what the first thing that has to be said is that the teachings themselves that come through the Gita, like any living teaching, is relevant in today's life. It's relevant in all of the circumstances that one finds oneself in. It isn't just of interest because it's a spiritual text. It's of interest because it has to do with my life. And the evolution of a spiritual practice is explained chapter by chapter. The Gita is going to try to explain what inner development is in a step-by-step way. And it goes through a series of 6 chapters where it explains different facets of spiritual development and different approaches. The first chapter is actually written as a dark night of the soul. It's written as the voice of Arjuna speaking to Krishna, but it's entirely taken up with Arjuna and Arjuna's voice. It's at the point of one's spiritual awakening or suffering in not knowing for sure what it is to be on the path. And it's at this point that Arjuna cries out to Krishna in the same sense that when I'm faced with the complexities of daily life, the superficiality, the lack of inner meaning on a day-to-day basis, the internal kind of suffering that comes through that, in that quest, in that questioning, what is going on, what is happening, and why. If I do reach that questioning, then the questioning reaches out to something higher inside myself. And that's the part of Arjuna in his effort to try to connect with what's higher inside of himself. The story has it as Krishna, as an incarnation of the divine. And Krishna is his charioteer that is going to help him come to some understanding about what it is his personal path, what he has to deal with, in the same way that we have to deal with our own personal paths. Because inevitably, the truth behind it is that we just have to be ourselves in a developed potential of our capacity, that we can fully achieve this development actually is part of what we're going to be, or most of what we're going to be talking about. Now, in some practices and some people's understanding, it has names like enlightenment and realized and some very lofty words, and that is an aspect, but it's much more a complete total life and a picture of ourselves in this life. Those kind of words set up a duality between ourselves as we are and our potential in the future. And that duality itself is the beginning consequence of a lot of the difficulties that we face on a spiritual path, what we're going to become. It's actually much more correct to say and to see ourselves as we are, and with that comes the particle of something that is higher, that is in us, as part of us. The backdrop in the Gita is a war that is about to be taking place. But first we want to understand our condition as we are today here on earth in this modern world, and to understand as best we can the degree of mechanical forces that run against us in achieving our aim of spiritual practice. Firstly, we live in a very superficial world that is very self-centered and very self-motivated, and there isn't a lot of interest in spiritual development. And even I could even say that the forces are strongly aligned against it. And to pursue something for ourselves is difficult at best, and we don't wind up having support in our culture in an ordinary day-to-day way. Entertainments of all kinds surround us, and distractions. Not just major pulls and forces, but in every small way, distractions are there that drain us of the energy that would be put towards an inner life.